Hello, friends. Today I have got a very special story for you. Today, 4th January, is World Braille Day. Do you know what is Braille? Braille is a way or an instrument which helps blind people to read and learn new things. But earlier, there was no Braille. Long, long ago, people thought, most people thought, that blind people cannot read because for reading you need eyes. But there was one boy who thought differently. Let's hear his story. Early in the 19th century, around 1809, there was a boy who was born in a village near Paris. His father used to make harnesses and other leather goods using his instruments. In his house, there was a corner where all his father's instruments would be kept. Now, this boy, called Louis, loved to play with his father's tools. There was a particular instrument of his father's called awl. It was a sharp, long stick, and while playing one day, Louis poked his eye with that awl. At first, the injury seemed not so serious, but soon it got infected. In a few days, Louis lost his sight completely. The first few days after becoming blind was very difficult for Louis. You can imagine closing your eyes and finding things around you. But slowly and slowly, Louis adapted himself and was very comfortable around his house and the school that he went to. He learned many new things. He was a very creative boy. He did not let his disability to slow him down one bit. As he grew older, he realized that his small school did not have the resources to help blind children. He found out about a school that was specially for blind children in Paris. So, as Louis was a very brave and strong boy, he packed his bags and went off to that school, which was the blind school. When he arrived at the blind school, the first thing that Louis asked was, "Are there any books for blind children to read?" Lo and behold, they actually had some books which blind children could read. These books had large letters that were raised up off the page. Since the letters were so big, these books were very bulky and heavy and very expensive too. So, therefore, there were only 14 books in the school. Still, Louis read all the 14 books and he realized that he needs to find a way to make these books less bulky and less expensive. He also realized that since the books were so big, it took a lot of time for a blind person to go through each and every letter and read the book. He thought there must be some way to make these books easier for the blind person to read, and so the blind person can also read as fast as a sighted person. So he resolved and decided that he would find an alphabet code to do finger reading as fast as the sighted reading. One day, Chance walked in the door. Somebody at the school heard about an army code that was used to communicate between soldiers and the officers. Now, these soldiers could not see the message because if they lighted up the matchstick, they would be shot. So, the officers would send a code of dots and dashes which were raised so that the soldiers could just move their fingers and find out what code or what thing is being communicated to them. Louis got hold of some of that code and tried to read it. It worked fine, but still it was cumbersome and slow because the dashes took a lot of space. Louis decided that he needs to develop a better code than this one. So, on his next vacation home, he was sitting with his father's tools, thinking about a way to make the alphabet code better, when suddenly his hands fell on the same tool that had blinded him, the awl. As soon as he felt the blunt awl's tip, he had the idea. He developed a code only with six dots, making and punching the holes with the blunt awl. These six dots had specific positions for each letter, and that is how the Braille, the reading device for the blind, was developed. Had it not been for Louis Braille, the blind people would still be struggling. Had it not been for his determination, we still would have thought that blind people cannot read, that books are only for sighted people. So today, let's celebrate the World Braille Day and let's say thank you to Louis Braille. Bye bye.